Hey everybody! Thank you so much for checking out this video, whether you were a previous subscriber to my channel or if we were friends on social media or if you know me in real life. Thank you so much for taking a minute to hear what I have to say. This is a really important video to me. I have been filming on YouTube since September when my IVF journey started. And I'm so glad that I finally get to share my channel with everybody. So thank you for tuning in. This is a very important week. It is the start of National Infertility Awareness Week. And I haven't acknowledged this week in the past. I had been struggling with infertility for 4 years before I was able to get pregnant. And the last few years, I really felt like, this week spoke to me, but I just wasn't ready to share my story or share my journey at that time. But I knew after doing IVF and having a setback that I knew that this year I was going to share my journey and share my story of infertility on National Infertility Awareness Week, regardless of whether I was pregnant at the time or not. And it just so happened that I was able to announce the pregnancy pretty close to when the typical announcement happens, right after the first trimester. And so that really lined up pretty well with this week. So I thought that was really cool. So in order for me to share my journey, I first had to announce my pregnancy, which I did on social media. And I got so much support, like so much more than I ever expected. I'm just so thankful for that. I was waiting to be able to tell the world that I was pregnant for a really long time, and I'm so glad that I finally did. But this video is gonna talk about why I chose to also disclose that I did IVF at the same time, or basically at all, because I have a very significant reason why I incorporated the IVF reveal, if you will, into my pregnancy announcement. And so here it is. For the last 4 years, when I was trying to get pregnant, social media was a huge cause of stress for me at times. So many people over the years that I was friends with in real life and just on Facebook or whatever, announced their pregnancies in these really beautiful, really cute announcements. And, I could just feel the happiness, and I could just feel the excitement, and I wanted that so badly, but it just wasn't happening. And after a while, it was just like one after the other. It just felt like it was a constant pregnancy announcement and a constant reminder of what seemed to come very easily to everybody else except for me. And I soon learned, as I started to get more involved in the TTC community, if you will, which means the trying to conceive community, if you don't know what that means. As I got more involved with that and the infertile community as well, I realized that there are so many people who just don't talk about their fertility struggles. So there's a really good chance that so many of those people who announced their pregnancies, I had no idea what they had gone through to get to that point. Maybe some people, it was really quick and they were able to have success within a month or 2 or 3 or even 6. But there are others that I'm sure I don't know their whole story. And if they wanted to keep it that way, if they just, didn't feel comfortable or didn't feel the need to disclose that they had struggled or had loss or miscarriage or something, then that is 100% their choice. I would never in a million years fault them for that at all. I think everybody handles, the whole getting pregnant thing if it becomes a struggle in their own way. And so that is 100% fine. But for me, I just wouldn't feel authentic announcing my pregnancy without revealing that it didn't come naturally. I wasn't one of those people who, wham bam, thank you ma'am, and was pregnant. It was a struggle. It was awful. There were lots of ups and not so many ups, because there was a lot of downs, but just the way the cycle goes, you start to get excited, oh, this is gonna be my month, this is gonna be my month, and then, you know, bam, it's not your month, and then you repeat that 12 months out of the year for 4 years, and then it just creates, it just puts you in a really bad place. So, you know, seeing pregnancy announcements it was definitely a trigger for me. It was hard. And I just knew that I could not do that to somebody else who might have been struggling, and also saw my pregnancy announcement. So I know that when I was trying to have a baby, and I would see that somebody I knew had IVF or had struggled with infertility get pregnant, I don't want to say I was more happy for them, but it was more meaningful to me, because I felt like, okay, if I can't do this on my own, there are options, and there are ways that I can get pregnant as a last resort, and I'm so happy that it works for this person, and it worked for this person because they went through this, and this, and you know, it worked for them. So if it can work for them, it can work for me. So seeing pregnancy announcements from people who I knew had suffered from infertility or loss, it gave me a lot more hope, you know. It gave me something to encourage me. And I know there's more than likely people who saw my pregnancy announcement either on Facebook or Instagram, or I don't know, Twitter, if anybody even uses that anymore. And I know that they have had trouble either in the past or currently, and I did not want my announcement to be a source of stress or envy or anything like that, because truly I don't know if there's a whole lot to envy. I mean, obviously I did end up having success in the end, but it wasn't easy even with the IVF. And if you care to learn more about my journey, to learn about everything that I went through, you can just go back in my channel. It goes all the way back to September. I document the whole IVF process, the highs and the lows. And if you are going to be going through an IVF as well, then it might be a good resource, because I give some like helpful tips and things like that too. So check that out if you are going through this yourself, or if you're just curious, and if you have a friend maybe who you know is going through this, it might help just to get a little bit more educated on what they're going through, because you know, I've been on both sides of this. I have, you know, not always been trying for a baby, and then I was, and so I know from you know, before I was even trying, that there's no way you can truly understand how infertility feels unless you go through it. I mean, I have had incredible support. My friends have been so great, and my family's been great. And but you know, a lot of people don't get that kind of support, because people just don't get it. They just do not understand fully unless they're going through it. And so check it out if you want to learn a little more. But anyway, I just want to wish anybody who is on their own fertility journey the best of luck. Keep your head up. I know it can be really, really, really hard, and you can be very stressed out and very discouraged, but just know that there are options out there. And I feel like it's the most cliche thing you can say, but I mean, if it happened for me, it really can happen for anybody else too. So stick with it. And if anybody needs any support or encouragement, please feel free to reach out to me. I don't know, I just feel like I really want to be an advocate for people who are struggling with infertility, because it can feel so lonely. A lot of people, like I said, don't talk about it, and that's their choice. But I guess the number now is like 1 in 8 who are diagnosed with infertility, so it's really not that rare. And yet somehow you always have the best friend who gets pregnant in 2 seconds, and you know, the cousin who wasn't even trying, and whatever, you know, like everybody always has somebody super close to them get pregnant in like 2 seconds. So then it feels like, oh my God, you know, I'm the only one going through this, but you're not, okay? You're not. And there's a whole community out there to offer support. And also I want to personally extend my support to you as well. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. Thank you for all your support of my pregnancy, and I look forward to being able to have some really happy and positive updates in the future. Thank you.